probably would have canceled that show. Except Fishbone, they would have just powered through the broken bones.
Yeah.
Norwood with his bass up on a chair, playing it like an upright.
I forgot. I was reminded that 2 days after it was broken, I actually showed up and played.
Really?
At Surfside, yeah.
Oh, yeah, your arm. Didn't you have a broken arm?
I didn't. I was like,
I was there when he did the Surfside gig. I got and played.
Yeah,
with him.
let's go live on YouTube. I'm guessing we already are, because every time, like Scott says, you say we aren't, and then I watch the playback. It is about a minute before. It's a minute before. It's not 10 minutes. It's
always that little bit before. They get us.
So I'm going to say we're live right now on YouTube. So if you're watching, you know
I can prove it. Look, I pinched myself. I can. I'm alive.
There it is.
We're live. We're live.
All right. And we got like a couple minutes before we kick it off. But, you know, in this little pre-show, we could be talking about some cool stuff. We could be talking about our new relationship with JBL. We're very, very excited. We'll save that for the show, though. But we are
super talk about Battle Beast, the old 7th level 1990.
There you go. Battle Beast. And shit, me and Norwood and Sheila are sitting in the same. Come on, Sheila, for a real quick look. All three of us are in the same.
Well, how did she do that? She was just in the square below.
Hey, it's called magic.
Watch this. Watch this. Okay, Sheila. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Hocus pocus, abracadabra. Sheila's gone. And look, there she is.
There she is.
Where's Maddie?
Oh, Maddie's floating around.
Get her.
Maddie doesn't know what the heck's going on.
Tell him he promised he'd be on the show tonight with us.
He'll probably pop up with Norwood and David.
Maddie came and said hi to me. I got the pleasure.
Oh yeah.
1 minute, you guys, and we'll be live on
that
Facebook.
Cat definitely beats to his own drum, but he's awesome.
I'm gonna call him Morris. I didn't realize he was Maddie, but he reminds me of Morris.
I call him Murray because he reminds me of Bill Murray. Like if Bill Murray, if he had a voice, a human voice,
all right, you guys. You guys, it is the witching hour. It's that time. Are we we're good. We're live on Facebook. So what do you think? Should we start this shindig?
If we're live, let's go live.
Here.
Party at Ground Zero. Here we go. This is Ground Zero right here.
The Rock and Talk Show, Beyond Backstage, with your hosts, Norwood Fisher, Kenny Olson, Scott Page, Stephen Perkins, Sheila Conlon, and David Moss.
And welcome to the Rock and Talk Show. This is show number 63. This is the bi-monthly show that dives deep into the entertainment industry, the business of it, and the stories and culture around it and everything in between. I'm the Moss Man, super stoked. Here we are at the Conlon compound. You got Norwood Fisher from Fishbone in the room with me. We got Sheila Conlon in the other room here at the Conlon compound. We got Scotty Page. In the closet, the Conlon closet. We got Scotty Page, Pink Floyd over there, and we got, of course, the legendary guitarist himself, Twisted Brown Trucker Band, Kenny Olson, Kid Rock, and Experience Hendrix, and our brother Stephen Perkins is on the road. He just got. Where is he? I think he just got to maybe Florida. I'm not sure, but I'm sure he's going to pop in.
He had been.
He was in Texas.
New York.
No, New York is after I joined them. But I'm
now, is he out with Pyro or is he out with Jane's?
No, this is Jane's Addiction and Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, that's that one, right? Cool.
I was just looking at his itinerary that he sent me yesterday because I'm going to catch the Detroit show, which is November 2nd.
I love it.
Right. And then there's another one. I'm going to be at the November 7th in Denver with David and Scott, actually.
Yep. And and Mark, our
And
technical
Mark.
director,
Oh,
is
that's
going
right.
to be
Mark's
there.
going too.
And we're trying to talk Eric into coming too. Eric's here, by the way, too. He's hiding somewhere, but he's here.
Big E, my partner in crime.
Hey,
Where
I
are
might
you?
need to go to that.
Well, then Norwood, let's have a
I'ma see if I
party
can
at Ground
figure it out.
Zero.
Do I have something to do that day? I'll check with my secretary.
There you go. November 7th, Denver is where the party will be. At least that's where we'll be. Hopefully,
That's
we'll
right.
see the
Right
party.
before my birthday's the 12th.
Yeah. Yeah. We're sucking everybody into the NFT world, Sheila.
Yes. And you know what? Yeah. And all of our secretary now is Greta. Greta can help you, Norwood. Greta's already helping Scott. Greta's helping all of us.
Greta's awesome.
Yeah, she does a great job.
Tonight, you guys, we're stoked. We have a ridiculous show tonight. We have another multi-Grammy Award winner, Hall of Famer, rock and roll legend. We have Bill Champlin on the show with us tonight. And later on in the show, we've got a up-and-coming artist called the Bittersweethearts, and they're going to play a tune for us. And they're very unique and have an amazing, fresh sound, and super stoked. But Norwood, who'd we have last week?
One of my absolute favorites on the planet, Tommy Chong.
Oh yeah,
Tommy.
That was like, that was like mind blowing. The second full show, third try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His story, his just in his recall of it all. I mean, I always love talking about the old Motown days too. It's just so cool, like all these amazing stories. His whole life has just been quite a magical journey.
Yeah, the breadth of his experience is like he'll have to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Just
It's like
we could
2
keep
shows,
talking
not
to him for
enough.
hours, right? Yeah.
Just his ability.
Series.
Go ahead, Kenny. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say we just need a whole series with him.
I was going to say his ability to tell a story. He's got to be one of the easiest interviews we've ever done. It's almost like you wind him up, you push start, and you sit back and you watch, and away he goes.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he had some great stories.
Incredible.
I love Tommy Chong. So listen, just real quickly, we're excited to announce that we've teamed up with JBL, Harmon, AKG. We're very excited, and we have some exciting stuff that's going to be coming in the new year with JBL, and we're just super excited to be teamed up with them. So if you're not following them on social media, check them out, and of course, make sure you're following us on social media as well. But anything else before we kick this show off? Oh, there he is, Matty Morris Murray. Matty Morris Murray, right there.
Yeah, he's awesome.
What is going on? Who all moved in?
He talks too.
Yeah.
But what's that, dude?
So you guys, without really any further ado, I'm gonna get right to it. I'm gonna go ahead.
I'm extremely excited about this one because before it gets out, because I don't want to fanboy. Bill Champlin was one of my biggest music hero mentors kind of growing up back in the day when I was living in San Francisco and stuff. And I'm so thankful to be on the show with him today. This is like a real treat for me. Brings me back to my youth.
And there he is.
There he is.
The one and only, the legendary Bill Champlin. Welcome to the Rock and Talk Show. How are you?
What are you guys doing? And what kind of mischief are you getting into today? That's what I want.
We're always getting into some mischief.
The question is
being here.
The question is, what mischief are we not getting into?
I know that's pretty much that's a story of our world out here at this point of the game.
When we part ways, we pretty much always say to each other, "Don't do anything I wouldn't do."
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
How you doing, Bill? Where are you? Where are you talking to us from?
Well, I'm in Tarzana, California right now. But when this is done, we're going to hit the trail out to Las Vegas for a couple of days. I got a piano delivery coming to my house out there.
Oh, wow.
So it's actually a little it's a Yamaha Clavinova. It'll live better in that kind of dry weather than a regular piano. So yeah. Plus, it's got strings and roads and bass and regular, a couple of different kinds of pianos. Nice. It's a cool little piece of gear.
Do you live in
So-
Vegas very much? Do you go there a lot?
Well, no, we got a house there. We haven't really been working on it that much. Lately, we've been kind of sort of basing out of here. I mean, which, I've lived here for over 10 years. So we got both houses going at the moment,
Great.
We'll figure out what to do. We're going to fix up the other one a little bit in Vegas, and then we'll decide whether we want to flip it or whether we want to live there. California is getting a little hard to live in.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting a little
Bill,
wild.
can you adjust your camera at all, or no? You're a little,
Just a
you're
little bit down.
There you
There you go.
Right
Perfect. There you go.
Is that-
Oh, that's it. That's better.
That's great.
We just need
There we
a
go. Now we
little
can
bit
see
of
you.
cleavage, man.
There you go.
There you go.
Just remember,
There you go.
I got a great face for radio. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, that blue mic sounds pretty good if that's what you're using.
These things
That's
aren't
pretty
bad. A friend of mine said, "Man, just go get one. You can get one on Amazon for like $25 or $30, and it beats the hell out." Because my speakers and microphone on this laptop pretty useless. If I'm not wearing cans, I can't hear anything on it.
Yeah.
But this is pretty much the way I look 90% of the time. I'm always in cans.
Yeah, Ken. Well, you're sort of used to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who have you, Scott, you and Bill, you guys have played together, yeah? Or no?
I got to play with Bill just recently with Kenny Lee Lewis. We did a gig out in Calabasas area.
That was
Actually the first time I'd actually got to play with Bill. And I was just telling him, Bill, you were growing up, man. I was, I lived in San Francisco. I lived with a band called Max, and we were all living in a house.
Really? Were you in that band?
Yeah, I was in that band.
Max.
That was my band, right? So we lived in this band, 11 of us in this house. And I'm telling you,
didn't we all?
we listened to so much Sons of Chaplin. I mean, I'm the biggest Sons fan. I loved your voice, the way you played Terry Haggard. I mean, that was such a cool band. And I actually still have tapes that I remember getting where you were playing I remember you used to go in and did a thing at the record plant. And you guys set up, and then you played, and then you put those out as like radio shows or something. It went out for. It was a broadcast.
I think it had to do with K-San and Tom Donahue. I think that's what that one was. We did one there. That was when we were kind of without horns. We just did a 5-piece. I love the 5-piece.
Oh, I did too. It was really smoking.
We got off. A lot of the moves. Stuff that would have been in a horn situation, in an arranged horn situation, was kind of done. With players doing different things, and it was just Counterpoint City, and with that band, that 5-piece was fun. We had a ball.
Yeah. And the other gig I got to do with you is I was the music director for Mark and Brian, and we used to do the Christmas shows, right? So every year I'd put the thing together, and I remember did one or two of those with us when we played with the whole band. I think you were the one we had Jeff Piccaro and Joe, and all of us played that one big.
I think it was Jeff and Russ were playing drums on one of those shows.
Wow.
I think it was the one at the Palladium, and it was Jeff and Keltner.
It was Jeff and Keltner, and Lenny Castor was pounding, and I think Sklar played bass. I mean, we had all-star crazy. It was either him or Glob. I can't remember.
No, I think it was Sklar, and I think Luke was playing guitar. It was kick.
Luke was on it. Yeah, we had those were
That's
ridiculous. Someplace.
That's ridiculous.
I brought a portable organ, but what I do remember of that gig was they brought in Mel Torme came in and sang the Christmas song.
Yeah,
no way.
And it was just, and I think Chris Boardman, who's a really great piano player, was reading the guy could read the fly shit off the page pretty much.
Anything.
Yeah, Chris is really a great musician.
Crazy good.
And he just hit it, and Mel sang the song. And I remember me and Jeff were sitting back there listening to it together, and both of us were crying. We're just going, "Oh my God, we're hearing Mel Torme singing the Christmas song. How lucky are we?"
It was crazy cool. And then I think Jack Palance read the Christmas. What was it? The Yuletide log.
The Yuletide log. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember one thing. Chicago did a Mark and Brian, and I remember. Brian just came up behind me in the middle of Hard Habit to Break and started dry humping me from behind.
This is crazy that you guys.
Brian's a bit of a nut.
Oh boy, big time.
Good drummer.
It's funny that you guys know Mark and Brian, because I took Mark to one of my son's charity events when he was in 8th grade, and Mark was my date.
There you go. Nice
That's
guys.
great.
I mean, both those guys were really cool guys. They were
Yep.
they were really popular there.
That
for a
was the
They
little
were
only
while.
so
day.
popular.
Yeah, I think it finally just bailed on, but they were just such natural comedians
Oh, yeah.
and really, really good people. I always
Yeah.
liked them.
Me
I
and
got to work.
Bissonette, myself, and Kenny Lewis, we would get in the back of their Mark O'Brien mobile and we would just go to people's houses, right? And they would knock on the door and then we
Guys would
would start
jam.
playing and they would do stuff. We did the
Awesome.
craziest stuff.
Oh,
with
that's
those guys.
insane.
And you also worked with them, didn't you, David, with when they jumped out of the plane?
Yeah, I did two things with them. When they had the radio show, they wanted to do something crazy. Brian wanted to go skydiving and Mark wanted to go scuba diving, and they wanted to communicate
Well,
with
they're
each
the same
other.
thing.
Yeah. Communicate from above and below. I had a scuba diving school. I got contracted to produce the underwater portion of the stunt, but I had to train them both how to scuba dive. And we spent weeks together and we did the show. And then the next day, the theme of the show was, if you can guess how many times we said, "Can you hear me?" And they did, because it was just a crazy sort of a mess. And then I got to do with Don Meisher, they had a TV show for a little while called The Adventures of Mark and Brian. And one of the adventures was they went shark diving. So I got to do that with them as well. I still talk to Mark every now and then. He's kind of, I think, writing TV or something like that. He's
Sort of retired. I got the feeling they just retired because they were just, I mean, how's that for an early wake up call every day, 5 days a week? You know?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
no thanks.
I mean,
No thanks.
I'm going to go out late tonight and have a late dinner. Well, what's a late dinner? Oh, about 4.
Yeah.
Because I
Like
got
my
to be in
mom and
bed by
dad.
about 7. By the way, the your sax tone when we did that gig with Kenny
Yep.
out at what the hell's the name of that place? It's kind of a new gig. It's a
Yep.
new.
I
venue.
can't remember the name of it either.
Canyon Club? Canyon Club?
No, it's near the Canyon Club. It's called B&R something. I forget what it is. It's a pretty nice venue or something. But man, when you because I'd heard you years ago when you were still playing with Pink Floyd and doing all that, and you had kind of a little bit more of like an Englishy sax tone, and then when you threw that that mouthpiece into your mouth on this Kenny gig and started flying, I just went, holy shit. You sounded great, man.
You just made my day, Bill Champlin.
Oh no, you sounded so
You just
cool.
made my
It was
day,
like,
brother. You have
wait a
no
minute,
idea.
Mike Brecker's alive again. I mean, you were smoking, man. It was just
Oh,
really,
gosh.
yeah. It was,
Thank you so
I
much.
just wanted to make sure you knew that. I said, because I was kind of sitting down there and I was going, wait a minute.
Bill, give us a little history, Bill. You grew up in the Bay Area, is that right?
Yeah.
You grew up in the Bay Area.
I had a bad case of Bay Area, is what it
There you go. and Sons of Champlin, not your first band, but really the first that got commercial success. To give a little history on sort of that whole era.
Yeah, before that we had just a high school band of we called it the Opposite Six, which I thought was kind of a clever name at some point.
Yeah.
We had a couple of saxes. Tim Kaine and John Leonis were playing saxes. So we had a bari sax and a tenor sax. I learned how to play trumpet to kind of fill that section out. And then once I learned how to play the trumpet, I realized now sing. It's a whoops. It was cool. I learned the fingerings and I learned all that kind of crap, But and then we started the Sons. Once the draft kind of took care of pretty much everybody. Everybody except asthmatics and guys that were married with kids, pretty much. And that ended up being the Sons, of the guys that were out of the draft, that weren't being drafted.
Huh.
The thing is, we lived in Marin County in San Francisco Bay Area, kind of a richy sort of white rich neighborhood in a lot of ways. Mill Valley, California. It's not exactly East 14th. You know what I'm talking about? And during the draft, everybody was getting drafted from Oakland, and then everybody started saying, "Wait a minute! Everybody in Marin County is getting away with not getting called up." So in order to, keep the peace, tons of guys in Marin County were getting called up for the draft. So I was but I was married and had a kid when I was still 17. I mean, by the time I registered for the draft, I I think it was 3S, married with a kid. They didn't want to have to pay for my kid for the rest of his life and mine. You know what I mean? Yeah. That whole era was an era that I think we're going to be seeing it again, pretty much.
You think?
Yeah.
How
they just said, I just read the news and they were saying that 15,000, they came up 15,000 short of the volunteer army. So I got a feeling with all the stuff that's going on in the world and all the, craziness that's happening in the world, I got a feeling the draft will be kicking back in again pretty soon.
Oh my God. I will be terrified because my child is 23.
Yeah. My youngest is 20.
That'll be total chaos. But back to that whole era in the Bay Area. Were you around for any of the Ken Kesey stuff? Were you?
I watched it all happen.
Yeah,
lived it.
Ken's nuttier. Ken was nuttier than a fruitcake. I'm telling you, he was out of whack. But it was really a cool time. And the Dead were kind of hooked up with all the pranksters and all that other kind of stuff. With the Sons, we really weren't in what you would call San Francisco royalty, which was the Dead, the Airplane, Quicksilver,
New Riders,
a few bands, New Riders, which were really the Dead, pretty much. That was all kind of considered royalty, and we were never the royalty of the Bay Area bands. We were in the ball game. Yeah, we must have played the Fillmore as much as anybody did. Somebody said more than anybody, but I don't know about that. But it was just rock royalty was if you started in a skiffle band, then you could be rock royalty. If you started listening to James Brown, you weren't rock royalty. It's as simple as that. But we connected pretty seriously to Cold Blood, The Generation, Tower Power. We were probably more known in some ways musically. We were probably more known across the Bay than we were in our own.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that's one of the reasons why I left. People did not get the music I was writing at all.
Did you ever get a chance to work with Roy Buchanan when he was living in the Bay Area in that time period?
I never did. What a player, though. Huh?
Yeah, he was amazing.
He was a really good guitarist. Such great play. Sammy Hagar was a monstrous guitar player out of that neck of the woods. There's a lot of great players up there.
Sammy, if you're listening, we want you on the show. By the way, we're just going to put that out there. Right. How about Moby Grape? Were you part of Moby Grape or?
No, I wasn't. Way later on, our drummer was playing with them because they needed a drummer, and it was when Peter was kind of running the show at that stage of the game. And I think Jerry Miller and Peter and maybe Don Stevens were about the only three guys. I love Moby Grape. I thought they were great.
Oh, yeah, great band.
That was great.
San Francisco at that time.
Mosley was a kicking singer, man.
Yeah.
Plus a good bass player, but he had a really, really cool voice. If you listen to Mosley, some of the stuff that he did on the early stuff, listen to him and listen to some of the early Terry Katz stuff with Chicago. And you're talking about the same kind of voice.
Mm-hmm.
And also another guy that sounds kind of similar to those things was Scott Whelan from Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, right.
That's Scott Whelan,
yeah. Great, big, giant voices, like, what's his name from Allman Brothers? Greg Allman kind of had that same thing.
Oh, Greg Allman, yeah.
Big old voice.
Well, speaking of great voices, honestly, again, I'm just going to say thank you now. We'll probably say it 50 more times before the end of the show for joining us. Because like Scott said, Chicago, Sons of Champlin. I was listening to that. Chicago, obviously, huge part of probably all of our lives.
You couldn't get away from them. Hey, I actually, I lived in Santa Cruz when I think the second Chicago album came out. I actually shoplifted it from a record store.
Statute of limitations is probably good. You're fine.
When I joined the band, the guy said, "You owe us $350."
Many years. You and Jason were in the band in Chicago together for many years too, weren't you? Yeah. Jason, I've known Jason.
We still work together all the time.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Are you a golfer too?
No, I gave up golf. I mean, I was when I was a kid. My mother was a really good golfer, and she was a member of the Montecito Country Club, if you know what I mean. This is pretty highfalutin shit in that neck of the woods. And I just, the minute I was digging golf, it was all happening, taking lessons, and I was hitting it out there. It was all really good. And then I heard my first Delta blues singer. That was it. Done.
Yeah.
I think it was Lightning Hopkins. I went, I don't see Lightning with a set of pings over his shoulder.
you mentioned you learned trumpet, but did you start what would you consider your first instrument? Guitar, trumpet, piano?
Not piano.
Where'd you start? Piano was your first?
Well, my parents were divorced when I was 5.5. My mom got me lessons when I was about almost 4. Wow. So I was actually reading, little Bartok pieces and stuff like that before I was reading English. And then when my parents got divorced, we moved to Santa Cruz, and we couldn't get the piano up this little country road that we lived at the top of. So she put the piano in storage, and I was kind of without a piano for maybe 4 or 5 years. And during that period of time, I kind of decided that maybe it would be a good idea to try to work to be either a cowboy or a fireman, That's, just be a kid for a while. Something that we all kind of wanted to be around that age. And then after a little while, I started listening to some of the stuff my mom was listening to, Sauter and Finnegan, and some of the big band stuff that was going on.
Right on. That's
because she worked at one time. She worked for. She was a copyist. I mean, she didn't do anything really creative, but she worked for Canton and Rugolo when they were taking courses at Mills College with Darius Miel.
Wow.
So she was an academic, kind of an academic. She was an academic with music and a little bit of an academic with Scotch,
I have to say, I think on the behalf of all of us here, like this expression, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yep.
And your amazing talents. We've really enjoyed working with Will, your son. He's been playing with us quite a bit, and it's been quite a pleasure. And
Will plays circles around my old ass. There's no
he's a talent boy.
He's amazing.
He's a major piece of work. Very, very creative musician. I mean, and he's also got the nuts, chromosome that goes with it, as do I. I go, Will, you're making mistakes that I made. you're thinking the way I thought. You want your career to go like mine? Don't do that.
Wait. Your career. Yes, I think he wants his career to go like yours. No,
my career's been kind of a weird thing. I mean, what I wanted, where I was going, and what I would probably be better known for is not what I'm known for. In most cases, across the board, it's the fact that I played with Chicago. And you can't really escape that. It was a great gig for a long time, but it had nothing to do with what I do.
That makes sense.
So what is it that you wish you were known for, or would have been known for?
Arrangement, songwriting, and my own songs. And I've had records out, but they're just not. They've taken the world by low coastal fog, working its way to a drizzle. But I mean, with me, it's some level of the work's kind of its own reward. I just sometimes I just got to get it out of my system, and like my newest album is deep as can be. But nobody knows it's there. It's
What is frustrating is I think a lot of artists, their best work that they've ever done, the world has not heard. And it's like I think the best stuff I've ever done.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, Bill, you can say no, but can we put you on the spot and do something, or would you rather not?
No, I'd rather.
Okay, no problem.
It's weird. I could go up to the studio and knock you off 20 tracks of background vocals on anything, or sing a lead, or write something, or anything like that. But I rarely have right at my fingertips something that I can sing, unless it's an old blues from way, way years and years ago. Nobody wants to hear that shit anyway.
That would do.
Anything from you. Anything from you. Yes.
It's forgettable. Don't worry about it.
Do you remember I brought Sons of Champlin up to Humboldt County to the Mateel Community Center. This is probably around 2000. You showed up, you pulled into the parking lot, and the highway patrol pulled in right behind you.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of that gig?
Yeah, Tom Saviano got busted for not having a seatbelt on.
Welcome to Humboldt County.
Yeah,
That's right. That's rock and roll.
Yeah, and I think he, I don't know whether he ever paid the ticket, but that's a high cost ticket. He probably, probably cost him what he made on the gig. But I mean, it was great. Somebody came up to me after that gig and handed me a cola that was about this big.
Oh yeah,
this fat. It's this really nice music here. It lasted about 3 years.
Yeah,
I mean, I ain't the guy that I used to be. That's all that guy, the dope smoking fiend. That's pretty much Terry.
Now I don't know if you remember though. That night, Mick Gillette, rest in peace. He was also a good friend of mine through the Little Feat sort of family.
Wow.
Tower of Power and all of that. But I don't know. Mick Gillette came off stage in the middle of the show and was having like very serious chest pains.
Oh, yeah.
And he absolutely would not let anyone call 911. And I'm a firefighter. My promoting partner was also a firefighter. So we gave him some oxygen on the side of the stage right there.
Mateel isn't really high altitude, is it? It's kind of a little bit.
No, no. But just because of the chest pain, we just wanted to get it. And he sat
Mick
through it and got back up there and rocked out the rest of the show and lived for a number of years.
He had a couple of heart attacks. At one point, we were doing. It's a Sons album I don't think anybody knows about called Hip Little Dreams. Great Sons album, absolutely cool Sons album. And
look it up.
Yeah, find that thing if you can, if it's anywhere. And Dennis Newhall was the guy that kind of put it together, and we tried to do everything we could to try to make it happen. It didn't happen, but during the period of time we were recording that record, Mick was in the hospital, and we got Steve Madeo to come in and play on it. Madeo's bad boy.
Boy, we loved him, man. I love playing with him.
Yeah, Steve. I mean, he played on all that Stevie Wonder stuff from right from the get, And he was with the, I think it was the Butterfield band, the big band that Butterfield had was Steve Madeo and David Sanborn.
Wow.
Sick couple.
That was one of the great records, that whole thing, right? That record those guys did was fantastic. Sanborn. Yeah. That was the first time I'd heard Sanborn was in that band.
How about a tight sound? Oh, just unbelievable. Sexiest tone of anybody out there.
Yeah.
And you hear it and you go, King Curtis. He sounds like King Curtis. Who is this guy? I got to know him later on. He's a sweetie pie. He's a fun hang. Definitely a fun hang.
You've played with virtually your list of who
I haven't played with a lot of people, but I know a lot of people. I've run into them. Just walking out of a studio as somebody's walking in is pretty much where most of my acquaintances come from at some point.
Who have you not worked with that you would love to work with given the opportunity?
I mean, Stevie Wonder would be great, but I don't, I'm not up to it. I mean, check out his playing lately. That guy never stopped learning. Yeah. It's one thing. I mean, when I think about Stevie and I think about Donald Fagen and Walter Becker and those guys, and I think that those guys all had the thing that got them their first hits. And their manager went right, Ricky, don't lose that number 3 or 4 more times, we'll make a ton. And they just went, no, we're following the music. And Stevie did that. At some point in the game, he just followed the music. He let his hands take him where his hands wanted to go. And he became an amazingly great piano player, let alone, his harp playing is ridiculous.
His time is so good.
Great drummer. Great drummer.
Yeah. His drumming. I remember one time it was at one of his Songs in the Key of Life shows, and we were backstage in his dressing room after the show, and he played for 2 more hours after playing a 2.5-hour show while we were all hanging out there. He just came back there after a show and just started playing again in the dressing room.
Prince did that all the time, man. He'd play about a 2.5-hour show, and then he'd book a club somewhere and go over and just jam on James Brown tunes for 2 or 3 hours.
Oh yeah, I know that well.
Yeah, Once you get that stuff under your, you know, I mean, I'm sorry, R&B is so cool. There's something so cool about really good R&B, and people say hip hop. No, good R&B. I mean, is just or you know, funk or R&B. I mean, if it's right, you're stuck. You're there. You can't stop. You know.
Those are the roots that got me. That's what.
Yeah,
well,
probably
it definitely got me, and it's weird because I went through years and years of really doing pop, just pop stuff. I was living in LA, I was in a really big pop band, trying to write songs that would be right for the big pop band. And at some point in the game, I started listening to what I was writing. I went, this is sucking hard. I'm just trying to catch up with somebody else. I think I'm going to just write R&B. And I just started writing R&B. And that doesn't mean that that's all I write, but I mean, I've just been doing a lot of tracks for Tamara lately here in the house, and we kind of forgot about them for a minute. There was 4 or 5 of them. I just pulled them out last night and just put on some cans and listened to it. And when I went, holy shit, this stuff is great. This stuff has got a pocket. There's a groove, you know. And I think right now you listen to just about anything that's going on out there, and the groove is back like a dog lately. Everybody's just smoking it, you know. Have you heard of a group called Swamp?
No.
Look them up.
Swamp. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we heard them on, I think it was on DirecTV Blues channel, you know, way up in the high numbers. And it's a group called Swamp. I think they're called Swamp. And I looked at a picture of them, they're all white guys, and I went, whoa. I didn't know this. You know, it's just funkier than a 3-day-old Band-Aid. It's so funky, it move in next door, your lawn dies. You know, that's how funky these guys.
Wow.
They write 6 really cool stuff, and their singers just, forget.
Sounds like my son's band that he manages, Digging Dirt. Same thing. They're funky as fuck. The lead singer is amazing, and you look at him and you go, "What? Long hair hippies from Humboldt."
I saw a guy flipping out, a young black kid, obviously a pretty good musician. He was carrying, and he said, "I just found out Bobby Caldwell's white. I had to quit work. I had to call in sick. I couldn't believe it. What's going on?" And now Bobby's a friend of mine, right? When he had that song out, "What You Won't Do," right? What you won't do, you do for love. And he went to the source.
Wait, can you sing a little more of that? I don't quite get it. Can you just give us?
He went to the Source Awards, right? And they said, "Ladies and gentlemen, the best new black artist." And Bobby walks out of the stage. He said, "You want to talk about hearing a pin drop?"
Wow.
The place just went, huh? And that's how good.
Awesome.
That just tells you how great Bobby Caldwell is. He's the real deal. I mean, you know.
Talk about the thing that you I mean, Chicago. Let's talk about Chicago for a minute. We have to.
Well, I got a minute.
Yeah.
We can't not. Like you somebody said you turned the gig down initially, right?
Well, initially it was the day after, maybe 2 days after Terry had passed away. And they said, "Hey, you know, this gig might be good for Bill Champlin," because I had the same managers they did. And I didn't really get it. And I went, wait a minute. I play guitar, but I can't fill these shoes. You know, that you need a guitar player. You need a real dyed-in-the-wool, ass-kicking guitar player. I didn't realize they kind of had one. Chris Pinnock was sort of waiting in the wings anyway.
Right.
And I turned down the gig because, you know, I kind of handed it over to Carmen Grillo, and he almost had it right up to the last minute where they got Donnie Dacus. And Donnie's a kick in the ass. He's a good player, good singer, nice dude, and stuff like that. But it didn't quite work for them at the level that. And then later on, I got the call to go in and do it again. And I went, I'm still not the guitar player. I said, well, we got Chris Pinnock playing guitar. And I knew Chris was playing. I went, oh shit. And that's got me.
That guy can play.
Yeah, he's a bad boy. You know, he's a serious butt kicker. And so, I mean, now he had that covered. And I was, you know, I could play some guitar, but for the most part, at that point of the game, Chicago was doing a lot of stuff with David Foster. And Robert Lamb can't play what David Foster plays. He just not in his. It's not in his thing. He can play some other stuff. He can play all kinds of really cool stuff. But they needed. I think they needed what they needed was a guy that could come close to the David Foster piano thing.
Yeah.
David's an amazing piano player, and he kind of all those songs, "Hard Habit to Break," which to this day is one of his best arrangements ever. Hard Habit and You're the Inspiration, all that other stuff that David did. I could cop it. I could get close, and that's sort of what kind of ended up being my gig there for a long time. Was that?
Yeah. And then Terry,
and they didn't want to hear me. They didn't want to hear me sing at all unless I was just singing. You have to sing like Terry Kath.
Yeah, I mean, to replace Terry on the guitar, that's like, wow.
Forget about it. Yeah, it's like It's like replacing Roger Federer with a ping pong paddle.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna work.
Such a unique but amazing guitar work.
His amplifier was a Bogan. It was a mail order Bogan PA system.
Oh my, that
he built into a guitar amp.
Really?
Yeah.
We had when I was in my first band when we were in like 7th grade. We borrowed a Bogan mixer from the elementary school under the stage. Yeah. I guess you could say borrowed it. Yeah. And I remember plugging my guitar into that thing and all tube. And I was thinking how amazing it sounded. And then that's
what Terry was using. Cool. He just said, man, this is, I mean, we all kind of grew up with Bogan and Calrad, and just the gear that we got. I mean, now I think it's all PreSonus. I mean, stuff that we can afford. I mean, I've walked into people's recording studios. There's nothing but PreSonus stuff in there. All of it good stuff, but all of it really low price tag, so you can make noise. Yeah. Hey, there's been some top 5 hits done on GarageBand. You know what I mean? If the music's right, the platform that you're recording on means dick.
That's right. If the moment's there and you captured it and it's rocking, you're good to go.
You're swinging. That's why. I mean, at one point of the game, I was doing demos on, Porta Studios and 8 tracks, and I had I think it was I never had a what do you call them? The little 8-track machine that everybody had.
Tascam?
But I did it. No, I can't remember what
Porta Studio.
No, further on.
Porta Studio.
But I had a DA88, which was a little small thing, and I just used to mix to those. Yeah. And at some point of the game, I mean, I went from 24 track, and I went, everybody tells me I should go Pro Tools. That's a $20,000 thing, so I ended up going 2408, Motu 2408, which was a way to kind of. It's sort of a beginning to getting into digital recording, which I'm into now because, you can try to swim upstream for a while. After a while, you get really tired.
And Will, your son, he knows that stuff inside and out.
He didn't even run that stuff. It's great.
He didn't go near Pro Tools. I mean, he says, man, I don't even remember Pro Tools. He's so far into Ableton that and he's really good at it. He's got it really under his hands. I want to shoot him sometimes. I do.
The thing about him is so prolific. I mean, I've never seen anybody put out as much music. He has like a new track every week out with music videos. He just cranks content.
Yeah, he's cranking hard. He's looking at this. I guess it's there's a new, what do you call it? A new laptop that's coming out, an Apple of some kind that's got enough memory to put all of the knowledge of the world combined just into this little corner of it. And then there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just amazing. He's waiting for that. I am too, actually. I kind of want to set up a little system in Las Vegas where I can work, because there's good musicians there.
Yeah.
There's some major musicians in that neck of the woods.
A ton of them are moving down there because they can't take LA, right? And they can still be close enough so you can still get there in 4 hours. So it's not.
We got a house there, and I know we do it. But we get there, we get there pretty regularly. We're going to go there this afternoon, and we're going to just be. I like it. We're kind of up by Summerlin. We're away from the Strip.
Yeah.
It's really pretty up there.
Yeah, that's
nice neighborhood. It's got security, which I think, especially after all the crap that was coming down,
Oh yeah.
Which, with all of the riots and all the other craziness, I went, wait a minute. I mean, somebody got shot in the parking lot of Ralph's that I go to, that Tamara goes to.
Wow.
Here in LA, right in the valley. And
yeah, it's just crazy how it's coming out, right? I mean, there's so much.
I mean, but it happens in Vegas too. Somebody just knifed a bunch of people right outside of a hotel.
I mean, it's happening everywhere. We just heard about Thailand, what just happened over Thailand. It's
I read about it. I went,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Well, listen,
I'm packing. I don't know about you guys, but I pretty much, I mean,
I'm with you. What are you packing? You got a Glock? Is that your thing?
No, Will's got a Glock. I got a 38. Tamer's got a 22. I'm looking to go with Bond, James Bond. I'm looking to get a Walther PPK.
But I tell you what, we'll have to go to the range and do some blasting sometime.
I know I can't hit the broadside of a Bond. Of a barn, but that's,
maybe you shouldn't be packing then. Just saying.
Exactly. Anyone that can't shoot a gun should not have one.
Well, except for the fact that if they, I don't know. Let's put it this way:
I'll teach you how to hit the side of a barn, Bill. I'm pretty good.
I can get you with a hollow point. I can get you in the finger and take you out.
Exactly. There you go.
I ain't fucking around. That's just the way. But I mean, it's none of that really means anything. I mean, it's just a way of, I mean, we've got a guy that has been going on Messenger a couple of times, accusing me of all kinds of crazy stuff and saying I'm going to shoot you in the face and this, that, and the other thing. And he says, and I know you're playing you better watch your back at the Rancho Nicasio on Labor Day because I know you're going to be there. I mean, I had a taser on the Hamidor sitting right there.
That's scary.
It's horrible.
Scary shit. Yeah.
Wait a minute, that's really crazy. Is that like a weird fan, or is it something? Because are you on social media?
Yeah, of course. It was. This guy started sending these notes to Tamara, and he's let me see, what is the word for it? He's got so many fries short of a Happy Meal. It's just unbelievable. I mean, it's just not in his yo-yo
knife
string.
in the drawer.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got.
I like that's a good line.
What's that?
Well, listen, you guys, right
French
now
fries
we want to welcome in our musical guest tonight. And Bill, we want you to stay with us and check them out. This is a young up and coming artist. They're called the Bittersweethearts. And we've got Zoe in the room right here. Zoe, welcome to the Rock and Talk Show. How you doing today?
Hi, good. Thank you.
You're very far away. We see you sitting on a table a mile away.
You're far away. Come closer.
Can you come closer to the
closer, or is that going to mess everything up?
We want to see who you are so we know who you are.
Yeah, what it is, she's really smart. She knows you, Scott.
Yeah, there you go.
Keep
there
that
you are. Now we can see.
There you are. So Zoe, tell us a little bit about the Bittersweethearts. Like, tell us a little bit about who's in the band, how you came together, how long you've been together, all of that fun stuff.
Okay, so thank you for having me, by the way. So I started this band about 6-7 months ago now. Before that, I was in a band for 5 years, and we kind of just wanted to do our own thing. And so I posted on social media, like, I want to start a new band. And then that's how I found my manager. And he basically helped me create and audition like my dream band and like handpick everyone I want, which is amazing. So yeah, now we're like 7 months in. We already have our first tour booked. We've been playing at iconic like venues all over LA, and we're just really excited for the journey.
I mean, you have a pretty good manager. Like, we got to shout out your manager, Ali. He's got some great artists.
Yeah,
sure does, man. You got to step into the Derek Day shoes. That's hard, man. That's like you're the next in line, right?
Right. We love Ali. But where are you from originally?
So I am from Southern California, like a little beach city in Long Beach called Belmont Shore. And then I moved to LA like right after high school pretty much. And I've been here, so I'm loving it. Yeah.
Do you write the songs? How do you guys write?
Yeah, so I've been writing my whole life. And it always starts as poetry and then I turn it into songs. But yeah, I've been writing my whole life. I'm like full of songs, just a walking song machine.
Song machine.
So yeah, so it comes really easily for me. I just have so much to say, and then with my guitarist, or we'll just like jam, and like everything just pours out of us. So it's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you just recorded a music video.
Yeah, we recorded our first music video for our first debut single in August. That just came out. We're recording another one next week. So exciting things are like happening, and yeah, I could not be more stoked.
We have a 30-second clip of your video that we'll show real quick. Do you want to like set it up and talk about it? Like, what inspired the song?
Okay, so what inspired this song is actually something completely life-changing for me. Like, this song helped me work through a crazy time in my life. I recently just went through a divorce, and this was kind of like my goodbye letter to my ex-husband. Yeah, so in the music video you can see like the bride theme. It's kind of just like the broken dreams that we had, and how things are so much harder than they seem. And yeah, anyways, but it really helped me through an insane time in my life. So I'm very grateful for this song.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd be without it. So yeah.
All right. Well, let's show you. Let's debut it right here on the Rock and Talk Show. Here it is. What's the name of the song?
It's called Bittersweet. I mean, that's my band name. It's called Hate for Love.
All right.
I never knew that I would need you. I never knew that I would hate you. I love to hate, but hate to love you. I never want this night to be through.
There it is, right here on the Rock and Talk Show.
Yeah.
You know, your voice is so. I'm gonna say you remind me of a Fiona Apple a little bit. Do you listen to Fiona Apple? Is she
Yeah,
is she
she's
your
really
vibe?
cool. Yeah, she's rad. So thank you. I love her whole raspy. We kind of have the same raspy thing going on, which is cool.
It's a tone, right? It's at least you got a unique tone. It's just like Mr. Bill
Exactly.
Champlin here.
Yeah.
That tone was just.
I just gotta say,
spoken,
I
right?
love your
You got-
vibe and your voice,
Yeah.
everything.
Thank
You're just
you,
you're
thank
awesome.
you. Thank you so much.
So, what do you think? You wanna sing us a tune live?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
I just have to say though too, am I on mute? No, I'm
No,
not.
you're there.
No, we
I
hear
keep
you.
thinking I'm on mute. I watched your whole video. Very creative, really, really good.
Thank you.
I
so much.
enjoyed it. I loved it.
Thank you.
And who are you going to play with today? Who's there?
So today I have my keyboardist, because my guitarist, you know, the music industry is always so many things to do at once. But today I'm joined by my keyboardist and rhythm guitarist. This is Alexis.
All right, Alexis.
We'll be playing
Hello.
one of our new songs called Run From You. Do you want to say hi?
Hello.
Hey, Alexis.
Testing,
Welcome to the
testing.
Rock and Talk Show. All right. Well, you guys, the stage is yours. The Bittersweethearts right here on the Rock and Talk Show.
Okay, awesome. Should we just start?
Yep, you're up.
Ready.
I never knew that I would wanna run from you, my baby. But now that I know there's no way that I could stay, maybe one day I'll stop running when I see you in the rearview mirror. I think it's kind of funny that you chase me all the way out here. knocking on my door. I don't want your hand around my heart. I don't want your clothes laying on my floor. I don't wanna be your little lady. Don't want a picture on the wall. I don't want your letters on my fridge. I don't wanna spend spring, summer, or fall with you. How do I tell you that I want to be with you? Now I know there's no way that I could ever say. One day you'll start running when you see me in your rearview mirror. I just wanna be a little lady, want you knocking on my bedroom door. I wanna faces round my neck inside a locket, wanna kiss you on the bathroom floor. I just wanna be a little lady, I'm burning looking for my Clyde. I wanna spend the long cold winters with someone like you by my side.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I mean, you have a very beautiful voice. You guys, your songs are really cool, and you've got that sort of dark, smoky lounge voice.
No, very distinctive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you've been,
So much.
you've been very familiar with blunted instruments, is what it sounds like.
And
Hopefully not. But yeah.
And your lyrics too, the symbolism in your lyrics too, on top of your beautiful voice and vibe. It's awesome.
So
Looking
where
forward to
can we
hearing much
see you?
more.
Like what's going on with the Bittersweethearts? You guys have some shows coming up?
So our next show is October 27th at the Mint in LA, which is a fun one. Great energy there, as you guys
The Mint's a
probably
great
know.
place, right?
We
Yeah,
love Todd. Yes, we love Todd.
Yeah.
exciting. That one's coming up. And then, yeah, we're just working on music videos. We're going to release a few more singles up until we leave for tour in January. And yeah, then we're going to Europe, and yeah, it's going to be great.
Where in Europe are you guys going? Do you know?
We're basically going like everywhere, like Amsterdam, Austria, Holland, Germany. We're going to Paris, London. We're going everywhere. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome. That is exciting. When do you guys leave for that?
So we leave like in the beginning of January. So we're planning on releasing this album January 1st of 2023. And then I think we leave like a week later or something. So yeah, it's going to be cool.
Bill, any words of wisdom for these young, up and coming, aspiring, talented artists?
If you got the gigs, play them.
There it is, Zoe, right there.
It seems like the hardest thing at this stage of the game for just about everybody is getting gigs. But if you got them, just do the best you can, play as well as you can, and try to get it across to the people the way you want. You know what I mean? I know you probably have. It sounds to me like you got pretty major management, and they're gonna keep an eye open for you. You know, keep you in pretty good shape. I would imagine. I would hope so. You know.
Yeah, otherwise you're fired.
Otherwise, hey, you're fired.
Yeah. Make
job,
sure
fired.
Ali knows he's walking a thin rope there, and if he doesn't produce, he's fired.
And then it also comes down to the thing. Make sure you get the right backline stuff, get the right equipment, so that when you do play, you got equipment that's gonna play it for you. You know, I found out, man, I really want to go out, I really want to hit him, and I want to do it, and they just gave me a blown amp. You know, it's like,
And that's actually a really good piece of advice right there. That's maybe something that people don't think about as they're planning the first few tours.
That you are at the mercy of your gear. It's just always have been. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. If the gear ain't right, the music ain't. Simple as that.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Well, listen, we're getting down to it. I mean, we're at the end of our show here, and Zoe and the Bittersweethearts, thank you for joining us, and good luck to you. We wish you nothing but huge success. We're excited to watch your career grow.
Thank you so much.
Of course, Bill Champlin, thank you so much for joining us. It was an honor to have you on the show.
Great, thank you. Hey, Scott, give me a shout in the next couple of weeks when you get when you come up for air. Let's get together and raise our cholesterol levels a little bit.
All right, let's do that. We're gonna have to do that. And I'm going to Dubai on Saturday for 10 days, so I'll call you as soon as I get back.
Yeah, goodbye, Dubai.
Goodbye, Dubai. Yeah.
Dubai.
You're playing Dubai. I'm playing goodbye.
And Kenny, you got something going on kind of big tomorrow night in Detroit, right? What do you got going?
Oh yeah. There's well, Doug Podell, the legendary DJ here, has got releasing a Wheels compilation album, and I'm headlining tomorrow night, and I got a bunch of legendary Detroit musicians, including our boy Chad Smith's old band before he joined the Chili Peppers. They have a song on it, but they're having a big blow up.
So you worked out of Detroit, right, for a long time?
Yeah.
So you know Arthur, then you know Arthur Penhall.
Oh, sure do. Arthur that's my
one of my oldest.
He's like my other dad.
He's one of my oldest and dearest friends. I've always loved him. He grew up in Marin County, right in Sleepy Hollow, believe it or not. And then he went back to Detroit, ended up getting a gig on RIF, I think it was. And he owned it. He owned the city for a long time.
He's the most legendary. Like he's like my other dad. He's
a sweet guy, man. I love
grown up with you talk about shenanigans. I've gotten in quite a bit of trouble with Arthur.
So
it's a cool thing because they did this. Him and Doug Podell, these guys used to do these records a long time ago, and and growing up here, I'm like, oh, I want to be on one of those compilation albums, and they just did this. They're releasing it on vinyl. And it's all these legendary bands. Like Jimmy McCarty's going to be playing there tomorrow too.
Great.
And,
oh man,
bunch of guys. So it was. I'm excited because it's going to be like a big.
Are you aware that
holidays family reunion?
Are you aware that Arthur was a really great drummer?
Yeah,
he came this close to being the drummer in his Sons.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Arthur is like, I mean, I just love that man dearly.
Yeah, me too.
I got so many stories. I know you got, I mean, to hang out.
Yeah, we've almost been arrested numerous times,
Yeah, I think we'd be going on.
It came close once or twice.
See, Zoe, that's what you get. You're going to get arrested and do all those things as your career.
That's the fun part.
Just don't get arrested in a different country. Just make sure you get arrested here.
The funny thing too is he, like when my son was born.
Don't go to Iran. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, right.
Well, he for a whole week for months. Before my youngest was born, Arthur kept going on the radio. He's going to be born on the same day as me. And sure enough, my youngest was born on Arthur's birthday. And
what day is that? I've forgotten.
December 20th.
Oh, cool.
And the funniest thing was, so we're at the hospital and we're back in the recovery room after she gave birth, and they're bringing him in. And Arthur is this whole Hawaii thing. Well, there's this guy Arthur looks like Santa Claus with his long beard and everything.
Oh yeah.
And so there's like a Santa Claus with a surfboard dressed with a Hawaiian shirt and a big poster in the room that we were in for where my son's mom was covering after giving birth. And sure enough, on the wall was this poster that looked just like Arthur on top of it. It was he's great. He had to be there, but it was quite a Kid's off to a shaky start right there.
Hey Zoe, where can people find you? What's your social media? And then Bill, if you've got anything you want to shout out, and then we're going to wrap it up and close it.
Cool. Well, Zoe goes first. Girls first.
Our social media, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it's all Bittersweethearts band. Bittersweethearts band. Yeah.
Okay.
All one word.
good.
All one word.
All one word. None of the little
Cool.
words or anything. Trying to keep it simple, but
And October 27th at the Mint, our home away from home, and our homie
Yes.
Todd Christensen. And Bill, any final?
Well, I've had a new album out for about a year and a half at this point of the game. I don't think everybody has it, but it's really worth listening to. And you can just find it at billchamplin.com/shop.
Yes.
And we got Tamara set up a really nice store there. You get t-shirts and all kinds of things, whips and chains, all the good stuff that you need to have.
Thank
I
you,
need me a
Darren.
Suns shirt. I'm gonna get me a
Thank you,
Suns.
Yeah.
Darren. Yeah.
I want a Sons of Chaplin shirt.
Yeah.
We got.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's
to
go
say-
find one.
she had some made of the original, the first album cover.
Oh wow.
That's.
I forgot to do my
Yeah.
promotion thing. I forgot to say that the event is at the Token Lounge tomorrow.
Cool.
Oh,
I forgot.
Token
to say that.
Lounge, Kenny
Token
Olsen.
Lounge.
Go in.
Token Lounge.
Go in, light.
Non-fungible? Is that
Go in,
non-fungible
light
or
up the
fungible
fatty,
token?
and starts token.
Yeah.
Yeah, light up the
Exactly.
fatty.
At the
All right,
Token.
well, you guys, this was amazing, great show. Thank you to Bill. Thank you to the Bittersweethearts. Thank you, Ali. We just love you so much. Everything you bring to us, and we appreciate you. But make sure you check us out on the Rock and Talk Show, Facebook, Instagram at the Rock and Talk Show, and tune in for our next show, October 20th.
Cool. Hey, thanks, guys. It's fun hanging
Hey,
with you.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Don't
All
leave
right.
just yet. We're going to do our little outro and then we'll say goodbye.
See you next time on the Rock and Talk Show Beyond Backstage with your hosts, Norwood Fisher, Kenny Olson, Scott Page, Stephen Perkins, Sheila Conlon, and David Moss. Executive producers, Sheila Conlon and David Moss. Producer and director, Eric Lloyd. Assistant producer and creative director, Mark Armentano. Editor, Graham Cooper. Theme music by ThinkX. Sponsors, IK Multimedia and Lewitt Microphones. Artist Relations, TPI Films. Special thanks to From the Earth, ThinkX, The Conlon Company, and Mac. Check us out on YouTube/The Rock and Talk Show. Facebook and Instagram at The Rock and Talk Show.
And there you have it. Until the next show, we'll see you.